they use the medium die or the regular die?
Use the rare die.
The rare die?
Yeah.
Medium.
Yeah, roll the Carnelian.
What'd you get?
Carnelian.
That's a crit, right?
It was an 18.
Same as Tim. There you go. Look at us.
There you
Wasted
go.
all our high rolls.
Speaking about wasting all your high rolls, do we want to get into this week's episode of Reflex Save?
Are you
Yeah,
shooting
boy.
our rolls?
Alright. Well, in that particular case, what do we remember what happened last week?
I can't remember.
Mum and Dad showed up. They said it's time to go.
Yeah. The Brotherhood.
Well, yeah, Dad and big sister showed up and said I got to go home. Sorry, guys.
Horatio's past curfew.
I am way past curfew.
You're going to do that thing where you like leave one of your favourite toys with us, so you have to turn the car around and go back and get it.
Yes. Yeah. I'll leave my favourite salve with you. Oh, damn it.
Isn't that all of them?
Yeah.
Favorite holy symbol.
I left my favourite salve back there. Got to go back. Sorry.
Sorry, guys.
I'm pretty sure the last one was the one where, yeah, Mum and Dad showed up. I went for a wander.
You did
You
go
sent a
for
meat
one.
bird to the blacksmith.
True, yeah.
You spoke with your kobold mate.
Yeah.
In the
Oh,
stable.
in the stables.
I had a D&M with Mishan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Oh,
stepped
great.
out and Mum and sister were there.
Yeah, and I think that was also you had talked to Valine as well to get an idea of what she wants you to do.
We did, yeah.
Yeah. So, coming back in, we did leave on Horatio stepping out of the confessional booth to be confronted by both Father Augustine and Sister Erin.
Father Augustine, Sister Erin, I see you are packed and ready.
And yeah, I mean, the father has like a bag already, like just a suitcase, one of those leather suitcases. Ah, Horatio, I think it is time to leave. Don't you think?
I've been thinking, Father Augustus, and I don't believe that my quest up here is complete.
Your quest? What do you mean by your quest?
Well, I was sent here to send aid to people who need it, and there's still so much work to be done to save these people.
Cuts you off as you try to finish that sentence. Says, you were sent here to reaffirm your faith.
I see. Well, consider my faith reaffirmed, yet I still will not be joining you back to Baldur's Gate.
Horatio, this is not a request. You are to return with us to the church in Baldur's Gate. We have much use for you. Now that you've grown in power, in the eyes of the church, you can finally be put to the good work.
What makes you think I have any intention of helping the church?
And at this, he sort of gives you a very funny look. Why else would you have joined?
The reasons I joined were reasons of my own.
That is not acceptable.
Then what are you going to do about it?
The Father Augustine walks forward, and he gets right up to you and takes one hand and places it on your shoulder, and very quietly says, "Kneel." Maybe a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Wisdom save?
Wisdom save.
That's a natural 1, my dude.
You are forced to, compelled even, to take the knee.
Ugh.
Don't think that the small modicum of power that you've attained is enough to defy the church.
Can I do a quick, analysis, I suppose? What am I feeling right now? What sort of influence am I under? Can I tell?
Yeah, so do me you can either do a religion or an arcana check, I'll let you do.
Oh, yeah. Another nat 1.
Oh,
It's for a
God.
6.
The only thing that you're feeling is that compulsion from, and it feels similar to, but in a different way to Kalemvor, like the feeling that you get when you cast your spells. But given that it's working against you, it feels kind of strange. and it's forcing your body to move in ways in which you don't like.
Okay. Do I still have enough control over my bodily functions to try and pull out an object?
The spell duration, though, is quite short. So, once he's gotten you to kneel, he looks at you, sort of gives that almost like a leer, in a way. But after a couple seconds, it does fade and you regain control of yourself once again. So he's obviously, and you don't need to do an insight check for this, he's obviously doing it as a bit of a show of force.
Okay, so even when I feel that the effects of the spell have ended and I'm sort of on my knees, I will remain on my knees.
Yep.
I will look up at him, and while maintaining eye contact with him, I'll stand up. How tall is he?
He's a fairly tall individual. I'd say he's roughly 6'1". Fairly stringy sort of fellow. He's not bulky or anything like that.
So they sound like pretty similar physiques.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah.
It's tall, lanky.
Yep.
So I'll stand up again and sort of match him and his gait, like look him square in the eye.
And you can see he looks sort of satisfied with himself at the moment.
And I'll walk up to him, right up to him, and then I'll put my head just past his head ever so slightly, and then I'll whisper into his ear, "You kneel."
Okay.
And then I'll cast banishment on him.
Oh, God.
And I pull out a Charlatan amulet to Deep Dweller and hold it in his face and attempt to cast banishment.
Okay. Jeez, all right. So that's what's their charisma saving throw?
Yep, DC 14 charisma save.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
He turns to look at you as if to say something and then notices the amulet in your hand and his face kind of screws up in disgust, and in a moment a cloud envelops him. All of a sudden you hear that whoomp as his body disappears and he's banished out of this plane of existence.
So, what does banishment do?
Ah, okay.
I'm actually really curious. I've
yeah.
never used it before.
But this is a great opportunity for learning, everyone.
Father Augustine as well.
Yeah, let me read it. What it says, straight from the player's handbook. You attempt to send one creature that you can see within range to another plane of existence. The target must succeed on a charisma saving throw or be banished. If the target is native to the plane of existence you're on, you banish the target to a harmless demi-plane. While there, the target is incapacitated. The target remains there until the spell ends, at which point the target reappears in the space it left, or in the nearest unoccupied space if that space is occupied. And then there's more rules about if the target's on a different plane of existence, you can send it back where it came from. But basically, in this case, Father Augustine has been sent to some random demi-plane for 1 minute.
Better book it.
The demi-plane of slight inconveniences.
So, what happens then after the banish completes? You look up and you can see Sister Erin with a slight look of shock on her face as she immediately pulls out a mace with Kalemvor's symbol on it, and it starts to glow in this sort of blue flame. And you can see her click her fingers as another mace appears behind her, a spiritual weapon. Looks like she is absolutely ready to throw down. But just at the moment when I would normally say, roll for initiative, a voice pierces out from behind you, back from where you'd come out from. That is enough! And it sort of echoes across the hall, artificially amplified by spiritual energy. It's Mishan. There will be no fighting in this house. This is not a church of Kalemvor. This is the house of the Morninglord. Stand down.
And right from the moment after he banished Augustine, he looked straight at Erin and sort of like tilted his head downwards and was just staring her down. And upon hearing Mishan's words, he turns to Mishan a bit and sort of he keeps staring at Erin and he sort of steps back a bit, but Yeah, he's like sort of glowing, like his whole body sort of glowing a dull grey. And even in his eyes, I'd say there's a bit of grey now as well.
Mishan steps forward into the middle of... I like to imagine, just if you think about the scene, you're almost in the middle of all these pews. Like you're at one end towards the altar and they're out towards the back. And Erin doesn't put down her weapons, but as Mishan does step up and she stands beside you. And she looks to you and says, "That's enough. Bring him back."
He'll be back in good time. Only lasts a minute.
I think you've proved your point.
Fine. And then I'll just sort of... I'll snap my fingers, but it's like a I guess like a ring of grey energy emanates as I snap. It's like if that makes sense. And then he reappears in the space.
And instantly he reappears. His hair is all disheveled from the travel, the interplanar travel. And you can see he is kneeling on one knee, just out of the position that he was in before.
Much better.
He looks up, almost wild-eyed at you, and looks like he's about to do something, but Mishan holds up one hand. "This is the house of the Morninglord. I have domain here, not you." At that, Father Augustine's breathing heavily and looks between you and her, and then eventually looks away, and Erin dispels her spiritual weapon and puts away the mace.
I think I've made my point quite clear.
Yes, I think you have. And your decision is clear too. Make no mistake, the church will hear. We'll see how far you get without any support. Come! And he turns and storms out of the lobby to the doors at the very end, taking his leather suitcase with him, and they both disappear out into the blinding snow.
Politicians, Mishan, can you believe them?
Yes, I can, actually. That was well handled, Horacio.
Thanks. I've never done that before. I don't know how I did that, to be honest.
Yeah, quick study, I would say. Be careful, though. You have decided to make a pretty powerful enemy.
Well, it seems like if they are true followers of Callan before, I would expect a little more. I haven't been doing this for very long, and it seems like I've almost surpassed their abilities. So...
I certainly think you've surprised them, if anything. Well, they'll be ready for it next time.
As will I.
Good. And she, for once, you don't know her to be much of a jovial person in general. Like, she's been pretty stone-faced all the time that you've interacted with her. But in this moment, she seems to break that. And when she says good, she sort of slap/pats you on the back. And then she says, "Good night, Horatio."
Good night, Mishan, and sorry for making a scene.
Oh, that's okay. And she waves as she walks back to her chambers.
That's a nice Peter Alexander robe that you're wearing, by the way.
I got it on sale!
Sean's a bad bitch.
They're not cheap, so I admire that.
It's included as a tithe.
Right, well, I should probably go to bed as well. But, actually, you know what, if it's alright, Horacio's still a bit amped up, actually. This is the first time he's burnt a 4th level spell slot, so he might actually, it's like, you know, if you slightly OD on caffeine and you can't stop your brain.
Sure. You know what? I know, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Ignore the can of Red Bull.
I heard it once, apparently. So he's going to go out. What's it like outside?
It is still
pretty intense.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that, they were wanting to force you to head out in this weather and then left immediately, I mean, they've got to be pretty confident in their own skills, hopefully. But yeah, it's pretty bad out there.
All right. I still would like to sort of just, even if it just go outside in the grounds, the temple grounds, and just sort of walk a little bit and Just trying to cool myself down a bit.
There's sort of like a courtyard area between the main house itself and the sort of kennels / stables. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just contemplate what I just did, and I suppose it's almost, you could almost interpret it as prayer what I'm doing, because I'm sort of contemplating what I did, but also sort of in the context of Callan as well. So, yeah, just wandering around in the courtyard. If anyone saw me, they'd probably think, what the hell is he doing? Because, you know, Horacio sort of says a lot of things to himself. And he's like, sort of chuckles a bit and keeps looking down at his hands and turning them over and sort of shaking his head a bit, and then he keeps wandering around. But maybe after about half an hour, he'll come back in and retire.
He's like going over all the cool shit he could have said. He's like, oh, I should have said that when he said this.
This was badass.
Can I roll a perception check on this?
Sure, go for it.
Should have called him a dickhead. Missed it.
Missed my opportunity.
It's a natural one. So. It might have been an 11. I'm not sure.
You really need to put your glasses on.
No. Use my eyeballs too
Works
much
both
today.
ways. 2 becomes 20.
Well, how about this? What I'm going to say is, Svieta, unfortunately, didn't notice this taking place, or Horatio walking around. I'm going to say, just as you come back in from the courtyard, though, and you're sort of back in the main hall of the house, Wodun comes in from his walk through the city.
Wodun steps like 2 feet inside the door and then like shakes the snow off his cloak. Like, oh, cold out there.
Oh, God. Sorry, I didn't know anyone else was there. I thought everyone was in bed.
Whew, nope, still wandering around. It's bloody snowy out there.
Indeed. How was your wander?
Productive. I found the refugee camp. It's behind the speaker's house?
Town hall?
Town hall? Behind the town hall. That's where they are. So we should check that out tomorrow and see how everyone's going.
Definitely.
What have you been up to?
Well, I banished Father Augustine to another plane of existence, so there's that.
Come again? You banished him? Like what plane?
I'm not really sure what plane. Just not this one.
Okay. Well, have you done that before?
No, but it felt good.
Could you banish me to another plane? Like really one that I haven't seen before?
Maybe, but it might be a really bad one because I don't know if I can control exactly where you go.
All right, maybe another time.
Although, interestingly, if you don't come from this plane, I will send you back where you came from.
Haha, good thing I do, right? No, I'm joking.
Oh, the second layer twist in Wodun's past.
Well, I'm really tired after that, so we'll see you in the morning, I suppose.
Yeah, I should probably turn in as well. Where's everyone else?
In bed, I presume.
Where is everyone else?
In the stables. Probably be coming in eventually if it's getting late.
It is getting late, I'd say, at this
Yeah.
point.
Probably heading back into the house then.
Okay. Svieta?
I wanted to spend time with Otto, so I'm going to go to the stables and maybe just lay down with him.
So, okay. Well, that presents this opportunity then. So what I'll say is you head out into the stables, and as you step in there to go see Otto, you see Carnelian giving scritches to a big fat marten.
Always touching his marten.
Yeah, we all like to touch our martens.
We sure do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Carnelian, you're still awake.
How late is it? Well, it's kind of hard to tell.
The sun sometimes shows.
The snowstorm as well.
That's also raging. But I'm here for Otto, but you're still here. Are you going to stay in the stable? I think you can make a nest out of the hay that they have here.
But why would I do that? There's bedding inside.
The hay's warm.
Yeah, but blankets are warm and soft. Have you ever slept in hay before?
Yes.
Alright.
That's beside the point. Are you heading inside now? Do you want to take Chucky with you? I'm sure Mishan wouldn't mind.
I mean, he is a very, like... Look at him. He's adorable.
He's adorable. I'm going to keep him. He's mine now.
He's quite large, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's-
So you couldn't like smuggle him in.
No, he's bigger than... Chucky is bigger than Carnelian is.
Oh shit. Okay.
Makes me think of that. We don't allow pets in the House of the Morninglord. Picture of Chucky. All right, I'll make an exception because he looks very polite.
He's very polite.
I will look after him during the storm. Don't worry.
So, what's that hand for?
My hands?
Well, I guess it's yours. You could take it
What hand?
from the old woman.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, you cut the hand off an old woman. In
Oh,
front
right.
Of... How much have you had to drink?
Dude, 2 in the last 2 hours. I'm
Okay,
feeling
wait.
great.
Can I just see
Another
that for a
day,
second?
another hand.
Whatever. It was a long day.
No, I just want to see something.
Okay.
You cut a hand from an old woman.
Right. I forgot you saw that.
Which old woman are you referring to specifically? There was a few.
Well, did you know that Carnelian saw you do that?
Yes.
Yeah, he confronted me and I turned into a
that's
spider.
right.
He's spooked and
That's
spidered
right.
away.
So, it was all religious. You know, religious. Horacio's talked about it all the time. I was trying to make some sort of like, amulet. Didn't really work out.
To, like, an evil god?
No?
Then why did you take somebody's hand?
That's not evil.
You... She was alive. Why did you just chop a hand off of a
Carnelian's
corpse?
trying to process.
I do want to say, for the people listening, Zimma did some great acting there where he kept looking at his hand. It's like, what?
Look, I had a lapse in judgment. I forgot to just look at the corpses. Granted, Wodun should have looked at the corpses too for an eyeball, so he could make his crystal thing. But,
I think he needs, like, an undead eyeball, not just a dead eyeball.
oh, that's his fault for not knowing necromancy, I suppose.
My bad.
I don't want him to
Big
learn
eyes.
necromancy.
No, I don't
listening
think
for
that
the
would go very well. Well, I'm going to turn in.
So you don't need more hands.
I thought we had moved past that subject.
No,
No, I don't need more hands. I actually had a very nice conversation with Horacio about that. I feel that my hand hunting and finger gathering... I don't think there's anything that more can come of that experiment.
is this like the meat birds? Is, like, your fascination with that golem?
I'm not a very well-read person, and I try and find the feeling inside of me of what's right. It's not always correct, though. I'm still learning. Maybe I should hit up the library. Oh no,
It got burnt
I
down.
did get burnt down.
I hope the librarian's alright.
I hope so too.
Nay, yeah.
Oh yeah.
We still have some of her books.
Look, I'm going to just lay low for a little bit.
In the barn.
Yeah, just during the storm and just forget about the gods for a little bit, or until something happens.
I'd like to forget about them sometimes, but then I'm just going to go sleep in a church, so
It's true.
it's a lot warmer in there.
Kurtlemek doesn't frown on that.
I'm not, like, there to worship. I mean, I'm also not, like, a practicing worshipper of Carnelian. We just... You don't praise every human god, right? Like,
No, there's too many, and I'm not even human. That's too much to think about.
yeah, so, like, just acknowledge that he's important, and he'll be fine with that.
It's true. Yes. I'm very tired. And I want to snuggle up with Martin and... What's his name?
Chucky.
Chucky.
With Martin.
Can you cut that?
Nope. I'm just going to extract that part and send it to Martin and Rachel.
He is a very cuddly man, though. And Otto and Dogcliff wants to come along and I'll be warm. And I will see you in the morning.
I will see you in the morning.
I will be going to the forge in the morning if you wish to come. I don't know what the others are going to be
Maybe.
doing.
I'm going to see if I can't shake some gold out of Wodun,
Oh,
because then I'll be able to buy some stuff.
can you loan me 25 gold?
Well,
Oh,
if I can shake some money out of
wait,
Wodun.
wait, no. 50 gold.
We'll see how much I can get out of Wodun.
Yeah. Shit, upside down.
Yeah.
You might need Horacio's help. You're too small.
I'll get Chucky to help me in the morning.
Yeah. Sounds like a good plan.
Alright.
Of a breakfast.
I have to say, it is the cutest thing I can imagine. A Svieta all curled up with an owlbear, a giant weasel, like Weasel Martin thing, and like a dog, just all one big cuddle pile against the wind.
She didn't assign beds, so I wasn't sure where I was supposed to sleep, so I've slept in the barn.
It's so cute, though.
I know. I'm going to draw it.
As Carnelian's heading up the stairs or walking in wherever, he sees Wodun getting kicked out of Valine's room. I thought we had an agreement that I would sleep in here with you. You said we're sharing.
I didn't know you took things this literally. And then closes the door.
Oh, hey, Carnelian.
Oh, hey.
How's Chocky?
He's great.
He is great, isn't he? All right, bedtime. Apparently I have to find somewhere else to sleep. Off I go. Boom, 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 boom.
Wait, before you go...
Yes?
Sorry.
The silence and then the off I go. She's really good. Thank you, Angie.
Angie!
Thanks, Angie.
Thanks, Angie.
Thank Angie Asmus.
How much gold did you find in that chest?
Oh, I'd say at least probably 75 gold.
See Sveta's face. Fucking don't lie.
Just floating, disembodied face.
So, can we skip the part where I know that that's a lie?
No, I actually haven't counted it, but there was a fair bit in there.
And you're going to share that, right?
Of course.
Tomorrow morning?
Yeah,
Because Sveta needs some money to buy some gear.
we'll count it out over breakfast.
Yeah?
Yep,
Promise.
promise.
Promise?
Pinky swear.
Alright, and if you don't, I'll sick my Martin on you.
Wow. You would threaten me with Martin?
You never wanted to wear like a fluffy noodle around your neck?
You know that I have. You know that's a dream of mine, Carnelian.
Yeah. I can make it happen.
Alright, we'll split it up, promise.
Yeah.
He heads off to bed.
So everyone does have their own room. Just Sveta's chosen that
wasn't
the
paying
stables is
attention.
better. Yeah. And we fade out of that where everyone's finally able to get some sleep. The blizzard rages outside, but for now, at the very least, after everything that's happened to you in the last week or so, you feel safe in this place. The aura that sort of feels good, feels consecrated. And you're able to drift off into whatever dreams that you may have. The morning comes, you can mark a long rest on your sheets. Anyone that needs it. And the sound of the wind has died away. It looks like the blizzard stopped. And anyone that looks out of their window can see the blanket of fresh snow covering the entire city. Almost like thick frosting on a gingerbread city. What do you guys do? Do you all wake up at the same time?
Carnelian's a late riser.
Sounds like a no.
I think Horatio will actually get up a bit later today. I think you need a big sleep.
First thing Wodun's going to do is, is there a window next to the front door or anything? Like, could I peer out without opening the door or anything? Like,
How early are you up?
normal time? Like, when most people are up around getting breakfast and stuff? Like, when there'd be the most noise outside my room?
So what I will say is that you rise to the soft sounds of voices singing coming from downstairs. And if you do get up and start to investigate, you can see that it looks like Bashan is leading a small gathering of people in the House of the Morninglord, doing a sermon.
I want to look out the front door, or like without opening the front door, and see if I can see anyone that's kind of waiting around outside. Is it still snowing?
The snow has stopped. So if you looked out of your window where you were, it was completely blanketed white. It's almost like it's as bright as it would be during the day because of how reflective and white everything is. But you know that, obviously the sun being blocked is sort of dampening that off. If you do head downstairs and sort of skirt the chorus of people in their pews, you can head towards the front of the church where the double doors are, and there is a couple of windows that look out of the front.
I just want to see if I can see, because you mentioned last week that there was like an invisible figure following me. I want to see if there's any sort of signs of footprints that kind of are approaching but don't go back, or like any sign that there might be some invisible figure outside, or like
roll
that.
a perception check, because you're not going outside, right?
No, I'm just peeping out the window. Dirty 20.
Okay. You're looking outside, and it is early enough that people are starting to move about, and obviously you see a number of footprints that come up to the door, the people that are here inside in the sermon. What you do notice, if you're paying careful attention, which you are, is a set of footprints that seem to break off from that crowd and lead around the church.
Okay. I put my Pope hat on. And as I walk back past the sermon, "Hey, Mashan, is this bad taste? Can I wear this in here?"
The sermon is cut short as they were mid-song.
It's him! It's the Morninglord!
And Mishan just slowly, she's just looking dead forward, and then she just slowly tilts her head over and looks at you. And then looks forward again.
Never mind, it's not that important.
She picks up the song where it was, like just this, the chorus of people start off again.
Keep singing. Don't worry about me. I'll be having breakfast. If you're looking for me.
Sorry. I could just imagine, like, having been to church and knowing what it's like when people sing.
Yeah.
Just someone yelling out, "Is this hat bad taste?" in the middle of a song.
You ever heard a song that comes to a stop, but not because it was meant to? Like, there's like different times where people stop singing and it's just this discord of voices.
Yes.
That's exactly what happened. Okay, so you're downstairs at the moment. How about Svieta? You're outside.
I am. I will get up and push Chucky off. You just slide down. And crick my back, whatever people do in the mornings, and I'll poke my head out. Do I see this singing sermon going on? I'm usually awake around 5.
If you're up that early, that's before this all happens.
Would businesses be open? People...
Yeah, I mean, at 5 o'clock in the morning, as long as it's not bad out, which the weather has cleared, you can see it from here. Businesses start early, in a city. So, yeah, it's conceivable that things could be starting to open up shortly.
May I make my way over to the Black Iron Blades?
Okay, so you just head straight out into the city?
Yeah, I'm not even going to leave a note.
Okay, we'll leave that for now.
Yeah.
Carnelian.
He will eventually wake up.
A little bit later.
And he will head down to... is there a main room that isn't used for Is there I don't know, an antechamber or a meeting room or
There's not a lot here, because remember, this is sort of a converted house that's been all gutted and opened up from the inside, to the point where there's not even really and this is something that's relevant for Wodun as well, and Horacio would already know this, there's not like a main kitchen hall or anything like that. Mishan has a couple of things in her own chambers that she can make for food, but it's not really intended to be a place to... It's not an inn or a hotel or anything like that. So realistically, unless you guys want to eat some of your own rations or anything like that, you may have to go find somewhere to eat.
Alright, he's gonna go look for the boys. he knows where Svieta is, or at least where Svieta was.
Well, what I'll say is that you head out into the stables where Svieta is already gone. Horatio.
Hello, yes?
What are you doing?
I'm a little tired this morning. Mechanically I'm good, obviously, but yeah, it was just a lot yesterday. There was a lot of soul searching, and then there was the whole thing with Dad and Big Sis showing up, telling me to go home and all that nonsense. But then there was me sending Dad to a demi-plane, and that's just Wednesday. So yeah, he feels good, but he's just tired, mentally pretty tired. So when he finally gets up, he probably, depending on how late Carnelian gets up, he might be up around the same time or even slightly later. So I'm guessing at this stage the church service is already concluded.
Let's say that the church services, by the time you get downstairs, are coming to an end. You can see Mishan wrapping up, and Wodun in a Pope hat off to the side hasn't eaten yet, I imagine, unless he's taken anything from his pack. But you can see Wodun at the very least.
Okay. Well, if Mishan's occupied, I'll go over to Wodun. Good morning, Wodun. That's a fine-looking hat. I'm glad that you put it back on.
Thanks, me too. It makes me feel at home when I'm here. I don't know why that is, but also, I think there's an invisible person following me.
I'm sorry, what?
Just imagine you're sitting across the table from a man wearing a Yeti rug and a Pope hat, saying that there's an invisible man following him.
It's not just a dragon.
I've known Wodun for a couple of weeks now.
Wodun himself could turn invisible.
What do you mean?
When I was out yesterday, I saw an invisible silhouette in the snow that was... Every time I turned around, it would, vanish again. But I could see the snow on top of it. It's hard to explain, because it's early.
Okay.
But I think I'm being followed. We're being followed.
Well, it's definitely something we should all be on the lookout for. Perhaps one of us will be lucky enough to catch more of a glimpse of it, if it does reappear this time.
I think I'm going to disguise myself. And he sort of looks around the room at anyone else that might be there that kind of belongs in the... is there anyone in the room at the moment? People coming out of the sermon or anything like that?
So you're sort of off to the side. There's no real separated room. You're in sort of a little alcove just off to the side here.
Okay, but there are still... I can see people who were at the sermon.
You can. So some of them... so Mishan's come down from the altar and she's talking to some of her congregation. A few people have left already, headed out the doors, and she's got a small gathering that she's talking to.
Wodun's just going to look at one of the people who were at the sermon, and his whole outfit and even his appearance is going to change to look very similar to that common person. And he's going to say, "Oh, I hate these clothes. Aren't they disgusting and gross? And so unstylish."
What? Have you done that before?
No, it's the hat. I can't do it. It's the hat.
Oh, it's the hat. Well, it's rather striking. A little unsettling. But convincing.
I think I need to go undercover.
Are you sure you're feeling well?
Yes, I feel fine.
Can I give you a 10-question questionnaire?
Are you trying to work out my love language? It's acts of service to the 10 towns.
Maybe we should have breakfast. Where are the others? Have you seen them?
No. Carnelian's probably going to come and find me this morning. He wants some money. Classic Carnelian.
Well, yes. I mean, we haven't really spoken about that whole situation much other than the curse removal. So, when you were affected by the curse, were you aware of your actions? Specifically, your actions in the treasure room?
I was aware that I was doing these things, but I wasn't sure why. But it seemed like it was what I wanted to do, but it doesn't really seem like me, does it?
No, I mean, you're a very selfless person. Typically, you love to give as much of yourself as anything. So it was very uncharacteristic to watch you take that treasure.
Well, you've cured me of that, and I'm very appreciative, and as not a reward, but an unexpected outcome, here you go, and he slides across a little pile of the gold to you.
I thank
whatever
you.
that is divided by 4. Whatever 300 divided by 4 is.
You can work all that out
75.
off air if you want.
Thank you. Well, that's great, Wodun. Thank you. It's nice to have currency again.
You haven't had currency since your wallet was stolen in East Haven.
Yep. Who needs it? It's overrated.
I think we did have a bit more than 300 gold after like the total of.
Oh, well.
I will also
Svieta has the party loot.
Yeah.
I'm going shopping.
Oh, no.
I will also say there was a bunch of valuable items that you picked up as well.
Yeah, I've got it all written down. What we found in the stronghold.
Cool.
What I'll do, and we can again take this off air, but if you want to just sort of sell some of the more the valuable items, we could just do the sale part. I can just give you the gold value afterwards, rather than playing out every interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Wodun. That's a very generous act. Well, I suppose I'm ready to eat. I'm starving, actually. I'm pretty tired, all things said.
I'm sure it takes a lot out of you banishing your mentor into another realm.
No, those two weren't my mentors. Augustine was a senior member in the church, very influential, and Aaron's just basically riding his coattails, truth be said. But very devout, but also politically motivated, if truth be told. And I didn't want to get involved in any of that nonsense. I just wanted to learn their ways and try to get a different angle on healing. And I think I've done just that.
Well, I'm sure they'll think twice before they mess with Horacio Cloudridge again.
Well, I hope so. Mishan's right. I think next time I encounter them, I don't think they'll be so unprepared. We'll see.
So, if you guys are after food after this conversation, I'm going to say you're going to need to head out in the city. Horatio, you know this, unless you want to eat into your rations. So, you step out of the church. On your way out, I'm going to say you run into Carnelian coming back from the stables.
Riding jockey.
What a spectacle. Good morning to you, Carnelian.
Good morning!
Are you suitably rested and refreshed?
Yes. I would consider my vitality to be 100%.
Perfect.
And all of my spells are available.
Yes, I mean, I feel like I could banish someone else right now.
I feel like I could turn somebody into a giant ape.
It just looks at you. Well, that's a new one. I look forward to seeing it. I think we were just on our way to get breakfast. Have you seen Svieta?
She wasn't in the stable. Why is that word hard? She wasn't in the stable, but that's where she slept, so I think she might have gone into town. Maybe we could check around the market. She wanted to go buy something.
Sounds like a good place as any. I think there's some good cafes around the markets.
There's a local all-day breakfast
A
cafe.
big breakfast.
Oh man, I could
Plowman's lunch.
kill for a bacon and cheese croissant right now.
What, Zimma or Carnelian?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay, so you guys now then all together turn and head out into Bryn Shander. Svieta, you were heading specifically to the Black Iron Blades.
Yes, please.
So you were up earlier than all of this, and you make your way through the city. It's a little bit away from the House of the Morninglord, so it'll take you about 20 minutes to pick your way across the town. It's early enough that there is not too many people getting in the way, but it does still feel busy even at this time.
I might turn into a cat and just, make for quick
Okay.
navigation through the city.
Take what I like to call the Thieves' Highway up on rooftops and things like that.
Yeah,
Excellent. So you discreetly turn into a cat and start bounding across the city. Every so often jumping on people's heads, like if you want to go across the alleyway to somewhere else.
Yeah. This is a shitty theme. Who's doing this? Is this a game reference?
No, I thought it was cute.
I was thinking Assassin's Creed.
Actually, you do
jump
that
on
in
people's
Assassin's
heads?
Creed, don't you?
I have no idea.
I think you can.
I thought there was like a crowd surfing mechanic.
Yeah, I
in
think there
it,
is.
or something.
Oh, Mario does it in Mario Odyssey.
There's a
It's
few,
bit of a dick
yeah.
move, though.
And you're able to more quickly make your way over to the Black Iron Blades. It's on the road that heads towards the north gate. But it's still fairly central, not far from the town hall, for example. You drop down right next to the entrance of the blacksmith.
I turn back into Svieta.
Okay. You hear from across the square, "Oh my god, that person's a cat!"
Oh yeah, I really should say stealthily, but I don't. I'm just going to turn back
We
into.
have found a witch.
Yeah.
Maybe burn her.
We're not in East Haven.
How do you know she's a witch? No, keep going.
I'm a druid.
So you turn back into Svieta and
Just head right in and look out for a noseless dwarf.
so you head in and what you do here is the clinking and clacking of some work being done. The forge here is, as forges always are, warm, but not the roaring inferno that you sort of expect from this kind of place. It looks like they've only just started up. After sort of loitering around sort of the main area for a bit, a dwarf does appear from behind a curtain out into the main one. He has all of his facial features. Hey, lass. Hey, welcome to the Black Iron Blades.
Hi. I'm looking. I sent a meat bird last night, and I was really hoping that you had received it and my order.
Oh, aye. Svieta, is it?
Yes.
Aye, yes. Sorry, are you after Harada?
Yes, I am.
Hey, she's going back to the Dwarven City.
Yes, I would, but... Well, I don't really need to talk to her. I just need to get what I ask for, if it takes you a night to make.
Hey, what did you ask for again?
I asked for scale mail.
You did.
I specifically scale mail with minimal metal.
It was a strange request, but I think we could do some. Come here. Gets you to bend down to him because he's a dwarf.
Oh.
I gotta get some measurements on you. Do some fine adjustments.
I'll crouch down for him so he can measure.
He gets a small little tape off his belt, like a little measuring tape, and just sort of does your shoulders and length of your leg and all that kind
I
of stuff.
poke my tail out wide.
Hey, that's gonna make a complication. Hold on.
You don't need to cover it, that's okay.
Aye, it's alright. Okay, I think I have something. Just come back in an hour or so. I should be ready.
Do you need payment now? Or later?
Ideally, when I hand over the package, I would like payment, yes.
How much would it be?
Well, normally it'd be 150 gold pieces. However,
150?
what did I say? Items in the Dale are hard to come by, and, well, everything's expensive here. However, I know that you did some work for Haruna recently, bringing back one of our iron shipments.
And caused a religion out of it.
Praise Allah. In bust we trust.
In the bust we trust.
And he does this kind of motion across his chest.
Each
Just looks like he's
ab.
kind of touching each ab. Well, of course, for you, 40 gold.
40 gold. Well, I have this gem that Hruna gave us. It's worth 50 gold pieces.
Perfect.
You can keep the change.
Oh, I didn't even have to haggle for it.
No, I don't like haggling.
Fantastic. And then he sort of looks at you and he sort of feels a little bit bad. Just come back in an hour.
You can give me money back.
Hey, no, it's all right. It's all right. I'll sort something out.
I kind of want the 10 gold pieces now.
Okay.
Please?
You said you didn't want it.
I lied.
Okay.
Please can I have 10 gold pieces? I'm
And
very poor.
He goes back and you just hear this little ka-ching as the register opens.
God.
Or the sonic ring noise as in some of the American ones.
Yeah.
And he picks out 10 gold and stacks it and puts it on the counter.
Svieta will just leave without it.
Chaotic.
Well, like with when Kaz want a door opened, and you open it, and you're like, nah, I'm good.
I think we figured out why Svieta is poor. Just refuses to accept money.
No, I bought something. I'm very poor. Nothing was even stolen from me. And I'll leave. I'll remember what shadow it is on my compass, or no, what is it?
Sundial.
Sundial. Thank you. What shadow it is on my sundial?
Nah, sundials are out. Perpetual twilight dials are in.
True. Like the log posters in One Piece. You're like, oh yeah, it'll be there. I will make my way to the center of town. Towards the house of the Morninglord, I suppose.
Okay. So you're heading back towards the house of the Morninglord. Are you just walking back?
Yeah, I don't want to use another... Oh, I could use another one, actually.
It is a little bit busier now. It's taken you a bit of time to get here, and places are starting to open up.
Yeah, I'll turn into another cat.
Okay.
This one, to preface, the first one looked like Nyx. This one looks like Raz.
For all those who stop by the Twitch stream, you can get their faces as one of the... okay, so you turn back into a cat and you head off back across the city. At some point, you are going in between alleyways, right? Because you don't have to really follow the road. And you're heading about midway to the house of the Morninglord. And you sort of jump down from at the end of an alley to start walking up it, and then cross over and head back up on the other side. There's a little low hanging roof that you can jump back onto and head back onto the roofs. And you're heading down when you get this really bad feeling in the pit of your stomach. And as you turn to look at where you think that's coming from, you see this sort of glint or shine swinging down with massive force at you. A familiar hammer strikes out at you. It's
What?
Beef Cliff.
What?
And we'll see you next week on Reflex Save.
He would never.
He would never.
He's an inanimate object.
I think that's the biggest plot twist I've ever felt before.
Gotcha!
Name of person here. I've actually got it. Hang on. I do have it.
Dwarf.exe has
Dwarf.exe has stopped working.
Exy, call him that.
We already have one of those.
Oh, what? I had it right here. Okay, there it is.